Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer. Is that the new theme music?
Oh,
How will it ever stop?
what I love about this is that it's spinning at about the same speed as Michelle.
Bless her heart. Amazing. See, I brought out mine.
Okay.
Which is this little ice skating mouse. And you crank it and it plays the skater's waltz. And appropriately, it's from a manufacturer called Otagiri from Japan. So it's like a nice segue into our Japanese national situation.
Well, as we unwrap, I wanted to start before we do Japanese nationals as a young homosexual youth. I believe it was definitely like before I officially knew that Santa was not maybe in the North Pole, but I think I knew, but was just like pretending for the last like 18 months of the situation. So it was the Beverly Smith book. Jonathan, it is the Bible.
I even covered it, like in the library, to protect the cover.
It really was. We all owned it. We all owned it.
For $35 in the U.S. in 1995, you could have owned this book. And let me tell you, Jonathan, it's wonderful, but there is a very strange Canadian slant to the book. Like,
yeah. It over-features particular skaters and seems to under-feature some pretty prominent ones.
Yes. I love the book, the toe loop animation, though, is a loop jump. I have to say Beverly Smith. I was so confused, I know your editor.
Your jumps were muddled for years.
They were muddled. I don't know what I would have done. And sometimes the jumps seem backwards, where they're in the... for the animations, but we had so many important pictures, like Ty and Randy, just in this so we can memorize them. It doesn't really look like Ty, by the way. But yeah, I was like thinking about it. First of all, we get a lot of close-ups on men in tights, which I appreciated. I have to say.
There were a couple of Julin ones.
There were a couple of Julin ones. I was going to say, Boitano was looking very good here. I
could just never get over that belt. It was just too swashbuckling for me.
The belt was distracting from what we were trying to focus on in the image. But yes, Julin in the ice dance portion is
something. No wonder he has such political pull.
Yes. Also, more photos of these two than you could ever ask for.
Yeah, exactly. And there were little blurbs, and they used to have the world results from those years. It was a really iconic
I always thought these two were a bit scary, right? Like polite, scary, right? That's a lot happening.
Yeah. And they talk about her brashly throwing off her double flip in exhibitions.
Yes.
They still reference that.
And I like that, even in the Grishuk, because this is, even in the Grishuk profile we have about what a homewrecker she is.
Right.
Yeah.
She went there, Miss Beth
Also,
Smith.
this image of them in the gold pants, fantastic. But there is a real Canadian slant. But I wanted to bring us in with the words of Elvis Stoico as we go into nationals, because Jonathan, it'll set the tone. And Elvis was in the mid-90s. He was interviewed a lot. He had a lot of thoughts about skating, and deep thoughts.
So much to say, yeah.
It's from the Blade. And that's where he's at right now.
Blade.
But I wanted to start by the foreword from Elvis Stoico, because this is a Canadian book. So skating isn't a job. It's a way of life. You train for months, giving 100% each day for a competition that will be over in a matter of minutes. You skate through fatigue, injuries, and sometimes disappointment. Not because you have to skate, but because you love to skate. It's the process of striving for excellence, and not the end product of a possible gold medal that makes it all worthwhile. And a weird, by the way, sort of run-on,
stream of consciousness, yeah.
And finding out who you are and how you react in certain circumstances is as big of a part of your development as landing your first double axel. The reasons for deciding to pursue skating seriously are as varied as skaters themselves. Some choose ice dancing because they love to skate to music and learn about the edges of their blades.
You should have done that too, Elvis. You should have also been listening to the music and using your edges. I'm just throwing it out there.
Others choose to skate as part of a pair. For the woman pair skater, there is the rush of freedom while performing a difficult throw triple jump, or the thrill of flying high above her partner in overhead lift. For her partner, satisfaction comes in the show of physical strength required to do the difficult technical movements that can astound an audience. Others prefer single skating because of the intensity and the amazing feeling you get when completing a difficult triple axel or quadruple jump. He got the quad in there because he was the only
He sure
one doing
did.
it.
This seems it seems
Single
very
skaters love to
off-putting.
soar through the air and challenge themselves on top what other skaters have done. We believe in one Father.
I was like, wait, what? I don't remember that part. I would have remembered that.
It
Oh
did
my
have
goodness.
a Catholic intonation.
Yeah,
to it,
exactly. That's really, and in fact, what's interesting is it's the opposite of what so many other icons have said. For instance, Frank Carroll was like, this is your job. This is your job. Another day at the office. And some people are like, you don't skate because you like to skate. You skate because you have to skate. It's kind of interesting how different people just come to it for different reasons and reflect upon it in different ways.
So did you grow up Catholic, Jonathan?
I grew up Lutheran.
Oh, So then you wouldn't know the Nicene Creed, but anyway.
Oh, we do.
Oh, you
yeah,
do?
we do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what you Lutherans do. You're like...
Well, we were something called Missouri Synod, which was a bit more Catholic than some of the other synods of the Lutheran religion.
Because so my parents have been church shopping lately, even though they've gone to the same church for 30 years. They were like, maybe we should try a different one. My mom's like, well, it's too modern. Then she goes back. But anyway, there's this...
I like it traditional. I'm a purist.
A traditional...
When I'm going,
a monotone Catholic mass where you can just feel the spirit.
When there's a modern praise band or something, it's, to me, hey, Dave, look at this. We're tying it to skating because I think some churches are like, oh, we should be current and modern and updated and that will draw in people. But it's such a miss of the mark that I'm like, it's actually repelling me from this situation. And that's sometimes in skating when they try to be overly relevant and current, you're like, oh, the miss on your relevance and current quality is actually so off-putting. I'd rather you just go back to something more staunch and traditional.
I do enjoy that they started a Latin mass, but it was led by white people, and the way that they would say those words, it was just
Domini, Deus.
So anyway, I think that my mom was like, oh, we saw Father Bob, and I was like, Jonathan would appreciate this. So he says the Nicene Creed, but he puts the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllables. Everyone says it in we believe in one God, the Father of the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen. And I was like, Jonathan would appreciate this because it goes back to ice dance when we talk about how they cannot.
Dun, dun.
Oh my goodness! Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Skating is everywhere. The rhythm of life affects everyone.
I was like, it's amazing. Anyway, so let's go to Japanese nationals.
Meanwhile, in Osaka, and Dave, are you wearing red for Japan? I'm wearing red and white for Japan.
So I haven't had enough lights on me. Apparently, and my shirt was red yesterday, and I had this new red sweater that it was Michael Kors, and it was really light, and it looked black on camera, and I was like, oh.
It did. I assumed you were.
It had a little shimmer to it too. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
It's Shoma Uno's free program thing. It's this deep blue with a subtle shimmer. Yeah. Okay.
I'm liking the new. I'm liking the new short program costume. I still prefer the red, but I thought it was nice.
I loved it.
I don't get this teal situation going on for Moonlight Sonata. I feel like a navy is important for that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. But I want to fill our hearts with Christmas joy as we start with the ladies of the Japan Figure Skating Championships. Now, in the past, I thought it was the All Japan Figure Skating Championships, but now they just call it the Japan Figure Skating Championships. I always enjoyed the All before there. It seemed...
Yeah, it seems very inclusive.
And Google
really
Translate.
Nice.
It seemed like it was definitely done.
So speaking of Google Translate, I was going to ask you, because when I was looking at some of the results and everything, it was in Japanese. Mm-hmm. I saw the standard ISU kind of results charting and stuff like that. And I know there must be a way to get it with Western characters instead of the Japanese characters. But I was like fervently like looking at the screen, and I was like, okay, that character looks like this. Okay, she was third. Okay, great.
That's when we go to rocker skating. Like that's what he's good for. You know,
Oh
like,
yes, that didn't even occur to me. That's
like,
exactly what I
he's
should have
very
done.
like Jackie Encyclopedia. You know, like
Yeah, exactly. A great database.
yes. So let's start. At the very beginning.
It is a very good place to start, Dave.
So let's start with the Sunset Boulevard girl. Is that Mariko Kihara? What? No, that was not her name. But
I have to look it up.
it was a Miyahara student, Jonathan. This is the one name I'm like I could not.
All right, we'll pull it up right now because you wrote to me about her too. Yuna Yokai, right?
Yuna Yokai? Is that no? What is her name? What is this girl's name?
Is it not Yuna Yokai?
I'm not sure. You know,
I'm pretty sure it is.
I do love that. I'll find it, but I don't want to get it wrong because we'll get so many tweets, Jonathan, and it'll give me anxiety over the Christmas holiday. I'll start hating my life. We'll get it anyway. But
oh, Dave.
but what I love about this, and I'll tell you, is that I love that like the oldest girl in the event, and it starts at Sunset Boulevard, and I'm like, oh dear. Oh dear.
Don't invite the comparison. Yeah, exactly. Norma! Oh my gosh. And it was, I mean, for her to do that triple axel in combination was very exciting, but yet you were like, oh, this is a different kind of packaging than some of the other girls that in other countries' nationals may have just fallen right under the radar, but given the high quality programming.
I was so into it. I can't even tell you. She, wait, I'm getting her name up, her performance. It was the one name I couldn't nail it, you know? Sometimes.
Unlike her, who did nail that triple axel combo.
Oh, look at what is her name?
Why do you think it's not Yuna Yokai? Am I getting it wrong?
I don't know, because they don't put the English next to the Japanese and the Japanese nationals, and don't they know that we're all going to be watching it? By the way, they're sponsored by Google, Honda, Kosei. Like, Google is sponsoring this championships.
Yeah, exactly.
And we didn't talk about it, but I really enjoyed the chipmunk ads that were going on in skating in Russia, and some of them were also... like, the commentary of Tarasova would be on in the background, so...
Yes. Well, and it was fascinating.
Her name is Ayaka Hosoda.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I kept saying the other name. I'm really sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, she's not listed on the Miyahara Wikipedia page as a current student. That's why I was very confused. So,
okay.
Someone needs to update that. But yes, she was wonderful. Skating to Sunset Boulevard, Jonathan, and she really started the penultimate group with a wonderful performance and a personal best and the 2 triple axels, and it was marvelous. I thought Frank was
very exciting.
I thought Frank was very into the music, and Dick Button, they were like, yes, this is what we should start a nationals with, you know.
Exactly.
But in sad news, my daughter Marin, Honda, Jonathan. Okay.
That was tough.
It was tough because it
was silly.
And it looked like she showed up more trained here than we've seen her earlier in the season. I know that she had ankle problems. She's also not been known as the hardest working student because she did have a lot of natural talent coming up and was always able, and now she's kind of figuring out like how hard you have to work for it. She looked more prepared, and you could see it in the training of the overall programs in both the short and the long. It looked cohesive, it looked fast, there was a steady flow to all of, like, even the transition movements. It didn't look like any of the spins were, sometimes when she does her camel, you can tell she's, like, a little tired working it. And, like, everything looked in place. It just looked like it went awry. From the moment of the fall and the triple flip in the short program, it looked like the double axel mistake was because of the triple flip. Like
the double axel mistake in particular. I mean, you never like when they're like, that's a silly mistake, or in the words of Dick Button, it was totally unnecessary and uncalled for.
Wait, Jonathan, how does Dick say that?
A triple toe loop and a fall off at the end. I can't remember exactly.
That was unnecessary and absolutely uncalled for.
Uncalled for. It was so offended.
I was too. It was unnecessary and uncalled for. Like,
yeah.
Could you imagine if Dick Button were commentating in 2019? The Twitter people would be clutching pearls and, oh my God, how dare you? He had sinusitis, didn't you know? And it was like, He's been a hot mess for 5 years. What are you talking about? Like,
and here's the thing, like, I don't think anyone is denying that skaters have certain illnesses or certain injuries at any point in time, but like when there's a pattern of like 10 competitions in a row, and then at this competition they said they had sinusitis, like you're like, well, okay, but what about the 9 before that? Like what?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or this idea that previous results have any bearing on how someone is skating right now. Like even back when Marin was competing in Boston, they were like, but look, she went to the Olympics before, so you should send her. And I was like, that was 4 years ago. What does that have to do with now? And we'll get to that when we talk about Daisuke.
Rude.
No, I don't mean, I just mean in like, as you assess in different time periods. I love Daisuke, so there's no...
His short program was everything to me. It was... Okay, it was...
Yeah. We'll get there. I will gush appropriately when the time is ready.
You better gush extra, Jonathan, okay?
Okay.
Genki is watching, okay?
Okay. All right, good. Well, fear not. I'm obsessed.
I believe her handle is dancing is fun, because it is, all right?
Damn it.
All right. So Marin, the double axel combination mistake, and then the triple loop double toe. I mean, it was really just not a good effort in the short program.
I didn't realize that Roth was going to go there with her. I mean, I suppose why not, but it seemed like something he might not have done.
So Japan pays the coaches better than Korea, just so you know.
Okay.
Because Ensu also had, I learned this from one of our former guests who coaches and has coached with both countries. Apparently the Japanese federation pays very well to coaches like Raphael. And with Korea, they're still negotiating.
Gotcha.
So it's not as
and
much.
And to clarify, you also discovered that the competition we were seeing, that triple Lutz triple toe that she did in that video you posted was incredible.
Yes.
Like, but that wasn't a formal nationals.
No, that is, but they use it to like determine 4 continents, and I'm confused why their nationals doesn't determine. I think Korea and
it's finding their way
as we are with them as fans and learning this, but. This is more of like a ranking competition. It seems maybe how like Canada has that fake nationals before nationals where you're like, they bring everyone together to qualify for the event where you bring everyone together.
Right.
How we have like 3 sectionals and it's like a tiered system. I don't know.
Right.
Canada. I really don't know.
Okay.
But this is the ranking competition. So it was like a pre-nationals, but really, I mean, we know that Ensu can do a triple Lutz, triple toe, but did she do the triple Satoko? Does anyone know? I didn't see a video of that. So I need to, look, I focused on Russia, then I focused on Japan, and when I got that...
Mindfulness. We're just going to do one nationals at a time.
Yes. Sorry, Japan, but look, we had to go...
Well, the men weren't finished. The men weren't finished by yesterday,
So, yeah. Anyway... And I always love... I like Russian nationals first. Like, it's like that spicy appetizer. And then Japan is like that... It settles.
Palate cleanser. It's a palate
it's that
cleanser.
Sorbet, that comes in. After all of that Russianness, like...
Yeah.
It soothes the soul. It's like, it's like aloe. It's...
Yeah, I was going to say like a big inhalation of like menthol and like eucalyptus. This women's event is... I mean, I wouldn't... But I shouldn't say I wouldn't, but I'm tempted to, like, that's when I would travel to Japan to just go watch that ladies' competition.
I hope that you would wear the Rudolph thing that our friend wore in the I love him. Kazuki Tomono. Sorry, I was like swallowing. Kazuki Tomono in the Kiss and Cry when that Rudolph headdress was everything. I loved it.
And Japan is literally, like, I was on the fence and I did purchase my tickets to 4 continents because I was like, this is my chance to see all of my favorite Japanese skaters. So it was also very fun for me to watch this nationals and try to figure out who I might see in Anaheim or wherever, LA, whatever.
I know. I am definitely planning on that as well. I want to, we need to see Rika and Satoko and
yes, and I want to
Daisuke.
see these programs live, and I want to see all of this stuff.
I know. Do you think Hanyu will be like working his way back and going, or will he go to smaller?
I think it could go either way because it could be a very interesting thing for him to get back into the swing of things. Mm-hmm. Or maybe why would he need it if he feels confident and just wants to keep resting up? I could see it going. So
you were not originally on board with the Satoko short program, but will you be weeping the ugly tears when she does like the
Wait, Dave, I literally wrote that in my thing. I was like, and I didn't know how to describe it, so I wrote like the heart pumping, like the defibrillator moves or something. It was just incredible. That moment in particular, I was like, this is exceptional because she's so soft and so lyrical, which we've known. But then she meets it at another turn with something more angular and I want to say like good tension in her body. Like it's incredible the palette she can use.
I would like a Jutta Mueller documentary, not just about Terry and Frank and Maribel, but I would like one on Mia Hamada as well because she is very fascinating. She has a reputation for being very stern in the rink. Like maybe she's not as always as ebullient as she appears with her praise and everything in the Kiss and Cry, but she knows how to enrapture those girls with her love when they do well, and she's genuinely excited for them, and it's exciting to watch. Like, I really...
But she doesn't make for an uncomfortable Kiss and Cry when it doesn't go well either, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Because that's just garbage to me, but...
I love it. And the programs, she has really good taste in choreographers. So even if the jump technique is not always amazing, for some skaters, at least the programs we're watching, even the worst girl in her rink has like a nice program. You're like, oh, okay.
Right.
There's none of like
and
this going on. Like
the underlying theme is that they have good taste in what they're attempting to do. She doesn't have like a specific style in which I can necessarily pinpoint and be like, oh, that's Hamada technique. Oh, that's Hamada kind of step sequence. It's just, you know, that, attention was given to these kinds of things that I also view as important in skating. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. And she picks some of our favorite choreographers. So I think, she's always gone to Zueva, Tom Dixon. She likes a little Shailene Bourne, a little Lori Nickel. Like we can get on board with her. She's got some good taste. It's expensive to be Mia Hamada, Jonathan. Okay.
Clearly. Yeah. Oh, I keep losing my,
You're just so excited about the national.
I know, it's just like jumping ship. It's like, I love Satoko. And it's interesting, because obviously the jumps... Okay, riddle me this. Talk to me about our friend, Christy Yamaguchi.
Wonderful. Carol was so smart, yes.
Smallish jumps.
Yes.
Satoko smallish jumps, but just on a taller girl? Like, do you think that someone like Christy was able to...
How dare you start bringing up truth? Like...
Yeah, no, because this is not a knock on Christy at all. It was just a way that she made non-explosive jumping work for her.
Sometimes they're a little bigger. I think it depends. Christy, when she was doing the weight training right before the Olympics, the jumps looked a little bigger, I think, in 92. And I think that's why they had her doing all that weight training. Remember the pieces where we would see her, But the scary coach that she had, Christy Casgard-Ness, would always be talking about, well, when Christy was doing her weight training, it was like this. And sometimes then you would see her do that triple Lutz on Stars on Ice on the smaller rink, and you'd be like, oh,
yeah, just smaller compared to
smaller and
some
a little
of the others.
Whippy,
Yeah, but based in rotation instead of trajectory. Yeah.
So, yes. And
so, I mean, it was just something that was mentioned, and I was like, oh, yeah, now that I think about it, it's not, maybe it's why I just am not that offended by it.
Yeah. Her jumps at the Olympics were the biggest I think they ever were.
Could have been. Yeah.
She has Christy has a big double axel. And she has a nice triple flip most of the time, and triple toe sometimes. But, yeah, some of Christy's jumps were a little smaller. And... Yeah. Not a great edge jumper. But anyway,
and as we both wrote this down. So in the graphics for Japanese nationals, they were doing that eye scope thing where it was talking about height, trajectory, and it was
fascinating.
It was fascinating. I'm sure it was like a neat tidbit for some people, but I think like someone like Satoko was like, okay, can we put that away, please?
Kula King will be now using this for
I know.
She's like, can we get it into Russia? I think
exactly. Well, and Sakamoto, who really endeared herself to me, I don't see much of her. I don't know much of her life outside of the ice. So, but when she saw the blue fill-in underneath her jump, and she just started giggling, she was like, "What is that?" I thought that was really
yes. So I got like 5 text messages from Tim Siren, who's working on the website with us, Jonathan, who was very upset by the national scoring for Sakamoto because he wanted Rika to win. And he was like, it's a 150? And I'm like, first of all of these scores are relative country to country.
Yeah, and Rika,
like,
that was all the short.
And it was like she went and performed right after Satoko. Like, her jumps looked like Tanya Harding level. Like, they had never seen such a thing before.
And potentially the speed and these kinds of things, yeah.
Yes. So, all right, let's start with our main girls, but just a few shout-outs to Yuna Shirewa. She had a very nice short program, little mistakes in the free program, kind of, but a lovely skater overall. I really liked her. And I really enjoyed, like, the TV coverage, how I think that adds a lot of excitement when you show the skaters warming up in the back. In between. I found the picture-in-picture thing situation in Russia to be kind of distracting when one girl's on the ice, but like you're watching Medvedeva text on her phone in that back room with the mirrors where they're in the back.
That wasn't interesting to me, but this was interesting to me because when they would show the replays in slow-mo, especially like someone like Satoko, like this is what we were talking about, like how aware are you per se, or are you just trying to stay in the moment? She is watching those replays with us, and so to watch her facial expression while she is analyzing, which jump
they were looking to see if that lens was rotated or not in the show.
So was she. I mean, it was really a neat thing to see.
Yeah, and I just mean like the shots in the back too of them like running to warm up, and I just like it sets a lot of like tension and excitement when you see the skaters like getting ready, and they do a great job on the TV of that, I think.
And talking about the commentary, about how when we were talking about like Russia versus like the vapid commentary of North America, like this one creates a feeling of intensity and tension and suspense. And I don't mean to overstep, as I do not speak Japanese. I do not believe this is the inflection of the language. I think this is inflection of their response to the moments as it's happening. Oh my gosh, will she, oh my gosh, she did it.
I know that not everyone likes the woman that usually goes stepa sequence, choreographic sequence. They don't necessarily... There's something, I don't know. Someone was trying to explain to me that, like,
she's the Vern Lundquist.
They have issues with her. No, she was, like, a former competitive skater, but I forget. I don't know why there are issues with her. Someone can explain it to us in the comments, because there are, like, things that we're missing, like, throughout the years.
It was definitely his commentary that was creating, even though you don't know what's being said, and you may not even know about the sport, but you're going to be drawn in because they're like, oh my God. They're creating a mood, and it's so... wonderful. And just in general, the way the nationals are handled there were with class, respect. They don't make any apologies for their sport. There's no booming loudspeaker garbage arena techno music and some like comedian and half-baked local singer trying to do karaoke. It's just it's a show. It is a joyous but respected event. Like, I just love the way they handled it there.
And that they always have that soft white filter on the camera.
Yes.
So and if you're not into like photo or light, but there's like a soft filter when you watch how the cameras do Japanese nationals. It always gives the sense that they're like skating on a cloud. Like there's kind of
which
like
I love. Yes. It just lifts the whole mood. Yeah.
So I enjoy the soft white thing going on there. Anyway,
in general, the camera work there can be very good. Only once was it like Blair Witch Project, but in general, they're excellent replays. They're showing you just what you want to see in just the angles you want to see. The only one that never really does it for me is the aerial camera that they like to use there.
I don't like it either.
That one's harder for me. First of all, that's no one's perspective.
I don't like it.
Yeah. No, yeah. Because in no way is that helping inform me about that performance.
Do you also remember in like the in the 90s on NBC, they would show skating and they would start to like do this with you'd see like Stars and Ice and the camera would start to like and you'd be like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, you're like, whoa.
Didn't enjoy that either. Okay. Yeah. So starting with our girls, Kaori Sakamoto, let's start with there. She was absolutely, I think, incredible. She's obviously been growing really with her confidence, her performance throughout the year. Still not the most artistic or emotional skater. And I know that that's why some people have issues with her marks. But when I was trying to look at her components and how we would judge her under this system, her jumps are enormous. I mean, they are just...
And complete, like in the short program and things like that, she does very unique entrances. Like the entrance to the triple loop is very interesting, and will get you all those extra points as well.
It'll get you bullets, and it will also help your transition mark. So obviously she's going to get skating skills because she has them. Right. So she's going to get that. She does perform, even though it's not the most beautiful. So she's going to get she should get like a decent mark, and maybe they inflate it a bit. The choreography and the interpretation, you can debate what to give her. That's more personal opinion, and that could be lower. But I think the first two are the skating skills, and the transitions are often the anchor marks of the rest, and those are the really important ones, and she does get those. So, and she's going to get the technical marks. Her spin positions could be better, but the footwork is great, and the speed is going to go. And the skate order certainly helped her in the free, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, here's my other notes. I was like, I wrote so many notes for her. So what I really appreciate about her free program, and this is almost what I was trying to say about Yevgenia, was she lets the music start, and she just still gives herself a second to chill out. Mm-hmm. And I know that's like also an artistic choice, but I think that's a very important centering choice as a skater, that like she just kind of collects herself. And she also, as we were talking about, skaters and their center and or their like flaily balance issues, she is so centered. She's all coming from her core, and it makes for just like a very like even looking skate, which I do appreciate, that the power is coming from her core.
Now the shoulders could be worked on, certainly, in the
the aesthetic, right? Yeah. But I don't think she's like actually
she's not like twerking the body. She's just
Sorry, I'm really just having an issue here. You know what happened is one of my earbud...
Did you ever Vogue, Jonathan? Like, I get that vibe from
you. No, but maybe I had I'm having like some sort of issue. The little plastic piece fell off. No one cares. Okay, so, all right.
Anyway, I'm having smart water, like Jennifer Aniston. Anyway.
Right. And this is right before her spiral sequence in the free skate, she does like a hands up, hands down kind of choreographic mood. And in that one moment, I was like, see, there is something. Mm-hmm. You have something. You're just going to have to work to bring it out. And I don't know about necessarily her coaching environment.
Well, she's got 3 more years to work on this. With choreographers.
And I think there's something there to be drawn out. I really do.
So I think that if she sticks with Benoit, that it'll be interesting to see how this develops, and we'll really see what his worth is. How good is he? Because this is the skater that doesn't have a lot of natural ability. But what I like about the skaters in Japan is you do always see them returning to the choreographers throughout the year. They're not like some of the Americans who are going to strip the program.
Looking for a quick fix.
Or Tuktumishiva, where it's like, where did that program go? When every choreographer has said it. Right. You're like, okay, we're gonna stick the program, we're gonna go through. Also, did you see that Nathan Chen is back working again in Montreal, which means he's there probably with Sam Schwinar, working on the program? But Jonathan, he inadvertently posted the shadiest thing on Instagram, on his story. So he was skating in between Chalk and Bates, and he tweeted, Instagram story, I also would like Evan Bates to pull me in competition.
I didn't see that. No, but I mean, I think
it was inadvertent and unintentional.
It was completely inadvertent because he was
on the nose, hilarious.
The two of them, yeah, exactly.
It's like, you don't know what you just said in Ice Dance, honey.
That's like kind of a big no-no. But back to Sakamoto, I think what they did so smartly for her in the free skate is build that cinematic arch. Mm-hmm. So she was just skating along, but the program was just inherently like coming to a frenzied climax at all the right moments that gives you this burst of energy at the end instead of whimpering away to nothing. And I think that helped her I think that was very smart packaging for her.
It's much more successful, I think, than the short program.
I think so too.
So Rika Kihira, I think she's doing what she needs to do in competition, right? Especially in the free program. She's becoming a little bit of a situation where maybe the short's becoming a little bit of an issue, where she's not leading after the short and as consistent and successful with the short. So I'm sure that I have a feeling that
how do you feel then about her offering the triple axel in the short?
I think she needs to keep doing it. I think that it's obviously a jump that is difficult. She's working on it. It's her ticket to success. I mean, she's an all-around skater, and I think that that's very important, but it is her big ticket item, and I think that they need to keep pushing it. As she's working on the big ticket item, she's also working on her performance quality. I think that that's the other. I think the long is really coming along. I didn't like the long when we first saw it, and I don't remember if we were...
Well, the long was just, it kind of was fine. It kind of was generically lovely.
They really worked on it. And you can really see the development from competition to competition, where I look forward to her free skate now. Like, I enjoy it as one of the programs of the event. Like, oh, we get to see this.
Yes, absolutely.
I love the ending. Just the whole, like, the shoot with the knee slide. And I like the choreography. It's interesting. It maintains interest for the entire time. I think that she's
that triple axel fall in the short was so tough.
Yeah,
like that was a kind of clumsy fall like you're not used to really seeing, because she was full blown like laying on her entire shoulder and her like hand was stuck up there. It was.
You could tell she was a little maybe nervous about the triple axel. We couldn't see all of their warm up. I know you always want to like have like cameras.
I was But because I watched, I think Marin went right before her.
Oh, yeah.
So you saw as she was trying to get off the ice, she was trying to get it started, and she couldn't because there were flowers. And then she had something with she doesn't use tape. She almost used like a sheer something around her laces. And then that kind of broke or something right beforehand. And then the flower guy almost ran into her.
Yes.
And,
so the flower guy almost running into her was amazing. Like they almost stepped over her. It was like, but did you see her when she was skating out, do the axel stuff with her arms and like? I think
she did the double axel once. She kind of had the ice to herself, and then I thought, oh, is she only doing the double axel? And then, it was clearly on the mind. It was clearly on the mind.
So she doesn't step up into her triple axel as much as I know you really love when you see this triple axels and. That is your thing, Jonathan. You love it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, Jonathan. I like it too.
Thank you.
So, because she rotates a little bit into the backspin position quickly off the edge. So, I think sometimes when you do step up into it, it makes it harder and bigger, but she's sometimes can lose consistency with her timing. The way the Japanese jump, it's a lot of they ride the edge and the knee bend to get up in the air. It's like a different kind of snap than we see in North America or that you would see in Russia especially. Like, so it's very the opposite of what we were just watching. And there's pluses and minuses to it. Some people really don't like this technique, but it's like a rhythm, and she either hits it in the sweet spot or it can be dicey, I think, for her.
Right.
She's not usually in the middle. Like, she's not like an under rotator or someone that's going to usually step out or something like that. So I was glad to see that she did do both in the free skate, and I think that it's coming along, her percentages in competition. I did think that she got tight in the free skate after, I don't know if she's tired or just, because these skaters, if you think about their schedule, they've been competing every 2-3 weeks. They haven't had a lot
in the time zones. That is insane. Like the jet lag. I mean, and again, when I would talk about like jet lag, when I would travel, you're not talking about first of all, the plane will knock you down a little bit, like your immune system and stuff like that. But it's the actual time change from Vancouver. She's talking like 14, 15 hour time changes, maybe even more. You don't know when you're sleeping. You don't know when you're awake, and you cannot trick your body like that. It's got to be very,
and they've been going for 4 months now, 4 or 5 months that they've been really grinding it. So I know that she does have a little bit of a break, and I think she's done everything she needed to do in the fall. When you think about where she was a year ago to where she is now, she's a skater that wasn't medaling at Junior Worlds or the Junior Grand Prix final, She won the Grand Prix final and backed it up with a successful performance at nationals that could have won. So I think that she did do what she needed to do to feel confident going forward. Like, I don't think that this event damaged her momentum or her confidence at all. She won the free skate. She did a really strong performance. A couple triple doubles instead of triple triples. But overall, the landings, I thought a couple of the landings were a little bit nervier. And I thought it was interesting because sometimes you land the big jump and everything else just comes alive in the performance. It actually seemed like she was like, oh, I could really win this. And then it maybe
and sometimes, like, and this happened a little bit at the Grand Prix final too, after she nails those triple axels, like, I think it was the triple flip, like, certain things become scrappy.
Yeah.
Like, she's doing them, but I was like, that's not as textbook as I bet you can do them. It seems a bit in survival mode or fight mode or something like that, which I don't understand why she's in that mode.
I think she needs to get comfortable being a top contender too. Like, fighting for gold is a very different mindset than just fighting to do a program. You know, like she.
And I think she's doing it beautifully. Like, she's right on track. I think there's no implosions. There's everything is steady. She's doing what she's supposed to do. And small errors are just that. You know, it doesn't concern me. Yeah.
Because some of these other skaters are used to being the top skate. I mean, Medvedeva, Zagitova, like, they're always, you know, expecting to win every competition. Yeah. And she hasn't been that person. She's always kind of been in the, you know, the number 2 or number 3 in the rink and kind of climbing. And now she's it. Like, she is headliner. And I think that has to be an adjustment. But I think she's developing. And what's nice is that, yes, these skaters are probably really winded, but they probably do get, hopefully, a couple days off and a little bit of a break. And I know that Rika is going to Colorado to work on quads, triple axel at altitude.
You know,
and the
when
program.
I get nervous about that. I was thinking about that as I was watching the free program, because things like the triple flip were a little, like, scary. Not scary, that's not the right word, but didn't seem ideal in the Grand Prix final or at nationals. I was like, oh, why are they going to be futzing with all this stuff right now? I don't know, because I don't know.
She doesn't do a quad flip. Like, I think that she was working.
No. I know it's not a quad flip, but I mean, just any of the. I was like, I would love to see all of those a bit more solidified first. I guess is what I'm saying. So
I think my understanding is, I mean, sometimes when you work on something harder, it makes the rest mentally easier. So, you know, like, when you start in the rink, just because I was thinking about when you have a lesson, like, usually you run your jumps in order, like, outside of the program, and like, there's like a scale, like, you know, the coach is like, show me your flip, show me your Lutz, show me your, and then, like, when the Lutz is the hardest, that's the one that you're really, really getting nervous about. Then, like, when you kind of get the Lutz and you start working the axle is the one that you start stressing about, and the Lutz becomes easier, I think, for a lot of people. And then, like, it becomes more routine. So if that becomes, like, then she's trying for the quad salchow, maybe the axle can become more of a normal routine thing that she's doing, and obviously she has more time with it. And I think that, you know, if they're talking about next season or long-term development, it's not bad to work on it while she has a little bit of time, because I think they're going to work on it probably in the harness and probably in and out.
And this would be the interesting thing to watch, because, you know, like, when we were talking to Kimmy, and she was like, as I worked the triple axel, the double axel got all weird. And when she was coming up and you were still required to do those double things, she's like, I had gone to the triples. I couldn't even figure it out because everything was just a little out of whack. And I just wouldn't want anything to go out of whack for her, because I'm just protective of her, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that that's not going to happen, because we talked about other people. I think, but I think the fact that she's working with her choreographer again, and I think it has to be mentally nice to, like, work on something else, because you've been doing programs and programs and programs for so long right now.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
To do something, to work on something new and to readdress the program can be kind of enjoyable, rather than just this same monotony that you get.
Right.
So as you build up for Worlds, you know, it kind of lets you have a little downtime, then work on something, and then build it back up for the rest of the season. So I think that's good. And I think whenever you work with a choreographer and you work with them again and again and again, you learn more about each other and can infuse more things. So I think that's good. And I like that she was not the most emotive skater and the most artistic skater, especially like 2 years ago. And then you look at how she's come now, like she's developing a nice performance quality. She's not Satoko, but she's improving. So I think that's good. At least like she's doing all the things we ask these skaters to do. You know, like she's
yeah, exactly. Well, and you know she's in good hands. She has a great federation. She has a great coach. Like you know that things are always going to be paid attention in the right ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's good. And yeah, I mean, I think that I'm sure Miyahara will be like, that half loop triple salchow cannot be a double. You know, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
or the combo in the short. She could have still, you know, mustered something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was one mistake from winning national title. So
yeah.
But overall, not a bad weekend for her. I loved when they were all watching to see if Kaori would win, and it was like, those were some intense girls, but they all look very nice, and they all...
Yeah, and I don't believe... I mean, it's all ridiculous, but I don't think they seem as cutthroat, even though they obviously are all clearly working very hard and want to reap the rewards of that. Yeah.
There seems to be a different mentality about, you know, it. But it's...
and especially with the training mates. Like, it's a very fascinating thing with Sakamoto and Miyahara being seemingly really chummy and yet also being competitors and also being in the same rink. You know, it can be very complicated, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think Satoko, the short was beautiful. I think I saw two little things that she could... I mean, the Lutz looked under to me. I didn't see the protocol, but I called that under when I watched it. And then I noticed that she traveled on her combination spin. So that's just like a GOE thing. +3 instead of a +5 or a +2 instead of +4, something like that, I thought. But otherwise, I thought that it was a gorgeous performance. The camel spin was better. I thought overall, it's just stunning. It's like one of those masterpiece programs, I think, for the year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly one of my favorites to watch. And I still wish I was a bit as much behind the free skate as I am into the short program. Like some of the placement, like her triple salchow and things like that in the free skate is placed so perfectly with the music. And I really liked the entrance to her triple loop. Like they're doing some interesting things, but yeah. So I don't know.
I wonder with the music, you know how like there's something with music when like your heart rate like matches the music, it like there's a good quality to that. I wonder if the tempo is not for her, if it fights her a little bit and makes her nervous and doesn't agree with her.
Here we go with this again. Yeah. Because she has been so lyrical and so beautiful, and she has said she tends to get tight and rush. So to give her tight, rushing music may encourage instead of discourage, that kind of.
Yeah, because when she does the toe jumps, it looks like she can do it, but like when she relaxes into it, she can get them more rather than... And there shouldn't be anything relaxing about a tango, even if there's 4 seasons sprinkled in. And she does sell it. You know, she is doing what she's told to. I just don't know if it agrees with her. Maybe to do the lyrical free in the future would be more...
and I don't remember what her last jumping there's like a Lutz or a flip at the very end, but the second Lutz. It's a second Lutz, I think. And as she gets into the final pose, right before that, she just does a simple like stretch that you're just like, you just took my breath away. But I do associate that kind of particular beauty of movement in a different style than a tango.
Yeah, I like the program. I just don't know if it's the most successful vehicle for her in terms of, especially her lyrical free skates have been so strong in the past. But I mean, I think it's good for her to do something different, and then it makes her not boring. You know, like I'm not sick of seeing the same thing from her all the time. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I thought it was good that she rebounded here, because I think that after the Grand Prix final, it probably had to be a huge nosedive into her confidence. Like, am I going to make the world team?
She did look very nervous, like as they're about to announce her scores, and it's just one of those testaments, like she really does have to give away that control because she has no idea how the replays will look. It seems she is just as unaware of what's coming as maybe I am, and that's too bad. Where like Megan gets off. Oh, and I meant to mention yesterday, although I don't know if it was posted by the time we filmed, where Megan Duhamel did her throw quad lutz in honor of the quad lutzes at Russia Nationals.
So that was an old video. That was not, they reposted it from 2015.
Oh, they reposted that video. Oh, she said it was her 6th time. That's why I was like,
it was they landed it on her 6th time, but they practiced that in 2015. I think
because I remember them practicing the thing. Okay.
She was skating though on these trails in Montreal, and I wanted to go visit her and go skating outside with Megan. That looked like
those videos of that are incredible. But I don't know. She
was hitting a nice spiral position. I was like, oh, good for you, Megan Duhamel.
But someone like Megan Duhamel gets off the ice and she knows exactly. She was be like, I under-rotated this. We got to worry about this. And this one, no, that one was clean. That one was clean. That one will get the levels. But there is the joy and beauty of Satoko. It's a very different experience to see her so like white-knuckling those moments right before she gets the scores.
Yeah. And it's interesting. The Japanese ladies tend to last longer in general as skaters, and they compete for more years. I'm interested to see the trajectory of Satoko. It doesn't look like there are as many like hotshot juniors coming up, but the talent that is near the top is very, very strong. Where you look at Wakaba, who was coming back after a difficult, summer and fall, had a very credible effort here, stronger than I think we anticipated. And so there maybe isn't the volume of young skaters that are going to push them out, but at the same time
there's a great deal of depth behind them. Yeah, exactly. And I my heart goes out to Mai Mihara.
Yeah.
Because I will say the thing about Mai is it
was the best she ever skated here, I thought.
I thought so too. And every country has a Paulina Edmonds or a Maria Sotskova, and a little bit in their own way Mai Mihara fit that kind of role in Japan. As she is getting older, I see more smile. I see more personality off the ice. And I start to see it a little bit on the ice. I think that this is a sweet, more reserved kind of person off the ice, but they're slowly drawing something out. And you look at her landings, and there's no question.
No.
There's no question.
I fell for her a bit boom. Here.
My heart broke for her because I saw, and I don't know that her heart was broken, but I saw 2 great programs, clean. She is doing her job. She is being extremely clean, extremely consistent. She's doing lovely programs, and she is infusing a bit more joy, freedom, and personality. It's a slow time release, but she is increasing it each time she does it. And the moment she finished her free and the minute she got the score, you were like, this could have been. There's no reason at any other nationals, maybe aside from Russia, like that you wouldn't have walked away with this title, no questions asked. And unfortunately, you're in Japan and enjoy your pewter, it's tough. It's tough because I would enjoy to see her at a thing like Four Continents Now, where I might not have said that before.
Yeah, I think, and I think she'll place pretty well. The interesting thing about looking at Russian nationals and Japanese nationals, I saw more potential world medalists at this event, I thought. Looking at how I expect them to do later in the season, I thought, these ladies look like they're healthy and on track. Yeah,
and quite frankly, even, when I saw the Wakaba placement, I was like, uh-oh. And then I saw it and I was like, she's still right there.
Yeah.
There's work to be done, but she is still right there. And I'm just going to say it. I love that short program. I love it. And I could see how maybe some people are like, oh, this is, blah, or this is just easy on the nose. I disagree. You can say what you want. Think about Adam's program, that short program. Think about this program. Like it energized her. It set out exactly what it was supposed to do. It had energy, it had clean, it had personality, it had performance quality. I was all about it. And then the minute and it's a fit. It seems authentically a fit. I'm not watching Tarasova and Morozov try to skate to that. Oh, I shouldn't have even said it. They're going to do it next year. But like, then in the free, when she's doing the Four Seasons, it's like, well, but this seems put on you. It doesn't seem to be drawing out the right kinds of things from you.
And I didn't like the dress for the Four Seasons. I thought it was very distracting. I mean, we're used to Surya White in doing the Four Seasons.
And I hear that scream, you know, that scream in Lillehammer. Ah! You hear someone.
But
and the gold in there. I mean, that was also an iconic thing. But I can't remember.
Do you ever want to skate like Surya and just like stick your butt out on the music and be like, yes, oh, you know it.
Yeah, well, I know you do the whole Cries of Beirut. I said Beirut. Yeah, I know all about it.
It was one time. Okay. That was just.
That's all it takes, Dave. It's all it takes for it to become iconic. But so I hope she follows the track of the short program a bit more. Not that everything has to be that, but
what I like about Wakaba is that she's an athletic skater who's not a tradition. She was not a traditional performer growing up. I mean, they gave her some terrible programs coming up. Didn't she do a Somewhere Over the Rainbow as a junior or something like really kind of swipe?
And Scheherazade one year, I was like, this is not,
yeah.
You're not working with the skater in front of you.
Yeah.
Unless they thought, no, it's good for her to do Scheherazade to keep pushing her that way. But I think now is the time. Embrace it.
She had some terrible programs for years, and they've figured out how to turn her into a performer. So I like it. It's coming around. They give her great music now, and it's interesting and different. And I think that the short was way more successful. I was actually quite worried earlier in the season about what her injury was, because I think they said that she hurt her instep of her foot, and I'm like, please do not let it be a navicular, because that's a very difficult bone to heal in your foot.
Okay.
Just like I think that's what Chen Lu hurt in like 94. And remember she like was supposed to be off for a year, and then it was China. She was back out on the ice next fall, and you're like, wait a second, you said she was going to be gone for a year. I mean, like that's like a really tough bone to heal. So
okay.
So I was like, please, like let's.
Yeah. But she's another one. It's the spring in her jumps. Like it's just phenomenal. Her eye scope was off the charts.
It was great. That eye scope was...
exactly. But again, I think for her she's in a tough place too, because she's a world silver medalist, and like Mai is amazing. There's all these people that will just be sitting at home that I would love to see at a competition like Worlds. But if you're Wakaba and you're going to sit home now, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And when she is healthy enough, I want to see that killer triple axel, because we know she has done it, and it seems easy for me to say that it would still be within her grasp once she felt capable. And I think she's going to need some sort of wow element in order to push her back to the top of the heap there.
I think for next season, for sure. I was wondering if there'll be like another assignment, because if they send the top 3 to 4 continents, and assuming that none of them withdraw, I would want, as a federation, I would want to keep my Mihara and Wakaba going, like training and competing, not only as alternates, but also for their development, because looking at next year, looking at 2 years from now, who you want to keep going.
Yeah.
I think Marin needed to swallow the bitterness here a little bit and just maybe learn lessons and decide if she really wants to do this or not, and then move forward.
Because you look at this and you're like, we've got 3 medalists here and 2 very capable skaters
we don't
behind
need
them.
It's
a tough battle for the 4th and 5th ones that are doing all their jobs all the time. That's a very big ask. It was like in 2013-14 with that Japanese men's team. You could have sent 6 of them, and now we're in that case with the women.
Yeah, I think for Marin, they would love to have her, but if she's not going to deliver, I don't think
they have a lot of amazing women who are. Yeah, it's a tough field.
And there's Mako Yamashita and Ioana Yokoi. The technique is a little funky, but a consistent overall skater. I'm always curious, Jonathan, like, what is the Japanese Phantom aesthetic? You always know that it's going to be a Japanese Phantom program when you see what the costumes look like. Are they just imitating the Hanyu aesthetic for it? Or, like, what is the reference point in the costume?
I don't really understand. If there's, like...
Skating has ruined that show for me. It was like
it was never a great show, if we're being honest. It was fun at the time, you know what I mean?
Think of me. It's like, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, I would rather not. Thank you so much. And then now, of course, you know, they have that like sequel or Love Never Dies or something, and I was like, I think it does.
Also, were those Marin Honda's sisters that they kept panning to?
That's what I assumed.
But they looked younger than I thought that they would be based on their
so I didn't know if they were just young fans, or I did not recognize them. I did not recognize anyone from that soap opera we watched.
No.
It definitely wasn't her.
Whatever happened to the housekeeper? How's she doing?
I don't want her to come to my house, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
The other thing is, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, the Hamada Club... KFSC.
The Kansai is
Kansai. Okay. You know me and my
it's like
fat
the
self.
Japanese word for Kansas. I don't know. Like someone can explain it to us.
No, I keep looking and I'm like, she's from KFC. It's like, what's happening?
From, wait. I will look this up. They skate at, and it's like a university club. I'm always confused about how this all works in Japan.
Okay.
Like I pretend like I know, but let's see. It is. Oh, it's not saying it in their bios. They skate at... So, they're in Kyoto?
So maybe it's Kyoto Figure Skating Club.
It's Kansai University Skating Club. So, Kansai.
Okay.
And Kansai University has 28,568 undergraduates, 1,500
and they all have triples.
They all have triples.
Edges.
And it's in Suita, Takasuti, Sakai, Umeda, Osaka, Japan. So that's a long...
so they were kind of on home turf.
I guess.
Because they were in Osaka.
Okay. I didn't know where we were. We knew we were on JPTV YouTube channel. So,
some of the YouTube clips that you could get from this were outrageously high quality, which I always appreciate.
Amazing. It was.
It really is.
Yes. So let's talk about. Shout out to Tim Coletto, who is now born in Colorado, national champion of Japan, only in skating. Love it. In the ice dance, he is competed and improved, I think, a lot as a skater. So, but you think, like, he's one that has been to Igor, then he went to Barbara, then he went to Marie France, and he was a Tom Z skater who you would not have picked to be an ice dancer, but he won here. Their competition did withdraw, but that's in Paris. Their competition withdrew. Sorry. It was Misoto, I don't know how to say her name, and Tim Coletto. They won here. They won both portions of the event. And there are now 3 Japanese ice dance teams. So that's nice to see that they're developing, and they need more pairs. So,
yeah, it seems unusual to me that pairs hasn't picked up yet. Mm-hmm. And because I want like Satoko doing like quintuplet throws. So if anyone gave her that lift and with her rotation, she could just go forever.
Are there not enough like tall Japanese men that are choosing skating? Because it seems like the Japanese men who pick skating are like
smaller in stature. Yeah.
Like I don't think that Shoma Uno is going to be lifting anyone. Right. But I mean, I think that
Mervyn never should have left.
But I think that they could find. So let's discuss the men, because I do love Kazuki Tomono. Like I root for him. I think he has a lot of nice skating skill qualities, but he also is a little bit of a tentative skater. Like, you can see him improving, but also holding back at the same time before some of the jumps. So I think he's someone that I would love to see them, like, I don't know if he earned his spot to shows based on his medals, but that would be someone there. If he got the opportunity to do a lot of shows, maybe that would help his...
You think exposure would help build that confidence?
He went to Worlds once, but I think, like, if they kept giving him more exposure in shows and competition, like, maybe it could all... Because it's there. Like, he's doing quad Sao Cows, and like he's not 50-50 on them, but he's improve. He's working to improve, and then you see some stuff, and you see glimpses of a lot of potential. He's not He's not like the most natural. I don't think he's going to be world champion, but I think that he could be a really nice skater for them. And
addition to the team,
to the herd of of talent. I think like there is a nice quality there. He could straighten his legs a little bit more, but I think it's nice, and he's working with Misha, and I think that seeing Misha in the Kiss and Cry, he's becoming a real
presence over there.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great.
But
I have to say, the one that kind of surprised me here in the free skate in particular was Keiji Tanaka.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that correctly?
I think.
Keiji. And he has great cheekbones. He should actually sing. He should actually do all that. But there was something, I'm not into the aesthetic, and there's like pink stripes and swirly golds and unusual kind of stuff going on. But the jump seemed a little bit cleaner, and the choreography was a little more refined than I had recalled in previous seasons, which I appreciated that there were steps being taken in a direction there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And he was second in the free overall, so that's definitely an improvement. And he's working with Massimo Scali as a choreographer. According to
there was improvement on that. I mean, I felt like improvement in overall edge and line, and whereas other times it was kind of like, wow, how are you from this same federation? Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, oh, he's just working. He's in process. Like I see that at work.
Yeah. So let's talk about Daisuke, because that short program was everything. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I was so happy. Those 88 points, I would have tried to cheat so much harder.
I'd be like, what do you need, honey? What do you need
to get to work? But it looks like we're going to see him at 4 continents as long as he can go to a competition and get a score. So,
right, because there was something about him. In order for him to qualify for Worlds, he needed so many points at like international events this year. Mm-hmm. So now this is a question. So they can send him to 4 continents.
I'm not sure if does 4 continents. I forget if this
qualifier.
I forget if this counts as the event for. Does he have to go to an event before 4 continents to qualify?
That's what I was unsure of.
Unclear.
And I don't know, like, they're like scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're like, quick, somebody find a competition.
But there is a competition coming up, too, because I think Chalk and Bates are supposed to go to a Senior B before they go to Nationals. Okay. So I think that could potentially help him, and he certainly looks like he's on track as long as he stays healthy to go to...
Because we saw the quad in practice footage from Nationals, but obviously just like a little goofy of a triple on this outing.
He looked healthy here. I mean...
Yes, I feel like he's in process.
Yeah. It looks like he's skating as well as we heard he was earlier in the season. It looks like he's been getting better every single time. I thought that the short was a really special performance. Mm-hmm. The free... Thank goodness those triple axles saved him, because they were both done with quality, but the rest of the jubs...
Woo! It was a nail biter. It was a nail biter, and in the short, particularly, what I loved was the step sequence. Like you get there, as your favorite commentator girl so lovingly pointed out. It was done with complete abandon, freedom, and it just looked. It was one of those moments where I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to do that step sequence because I bet that step sequence feels awesome to do. And it was that kind of energy you were sharing with a performer, which is completely intoxicating to me.
Yeah. I loved also both step sequences. And did you notice the lunge into the spin transition that he does at the end? I thought that was
You're
really...
a sucker for a lunge, Dave.
I was like, I could never do that.
I had the first part. Yeah, no problem.
But yeah,
it's just special to see him. Yeah. Now, what I will say is, or what I will inquire about, I love him. This is not It's just an observation. I didn't know about the amount of 2-foot skating maybe I was seeing in the short program in particular. Because what's so magical about him is when he does all of these like arms, like circular in and out arm things, it's like he has a bead of water on his arm that he never wants to like let go of. It's just incredible. But then occasionally I would remember to check in with the feet, which have incredibly soft knees, beautiful edges. But I just wondered, it did seem a bit 2-foot at this juncture, and I didn't know if that was maybe just the style of the program or if that's something he may work to get away from.
The program didn't look different, so I think it may...
That's just the way it is. Okay. We just hear so much, like, you know, and now when Ashley would receive criticism for 2-foot skating, she was literally just like skating across the rink, not moving anything on 2 feet, just like waving her arm or something. That's flags. Very different. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he is skating on real edges and deep edges and with great knee bend and everything like that. So
yeah,
but there are moments he could be skating. He could be skating more on 1 foot. Yes, he's not Patrick Channing into some of those jumps, you know, where you'd be like, oh my god. So yeah. But I thought that Shoma looked more centered here than we've seen him all season. He looked.
Yes. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, especially in he's you can tell he was very focused on the checking of the landings, because especially in the short he was very over the top with the check.
I love how intense he is.
Oh, I do too. There's something about him, and I love that. Is it Yamada, who was Midori's coach, that sees him only in Japan?
Yeah.
Yamada. She was taking ownership a little bit more than I'm used to seeing.
I love her.
She went to talk to him before he went out for the free skate. And he was like, wait, what? Are you talking to me right now? Like, what do you need? Like, I gotta go skate.
The other one looks really nice, right? And then Yamada looks like...
tough.
Love
tough
her.
Cook. Yeah.
Like...
I miss those tinted glasses.
She has almost a Yoko Ono vibe to her. It must be the glasses, like the shape of the...
I think it's those. Yeah.
I'm always like, yes. Like, I love seeing her. And the other one seems to, like, does it not? Like...
knows her place. Yeah.
And I wonder if someone from Japan can let us know, who was the woman with Yamada in Albertville in the Kiss and Cry with Midori? Because they had, like, matching... yellow blazers on, and I always thought that was like,
I didn't know if that was a Federation person or something.
I'm not sure. Hopefully they can let us know, because that but
I
think the funny thing about Yamada is that she once gave this interview where she said that, like, and it was when she had all of these girls like Yoshiya Onda who were complete jumpers, and she was like, I really like to focus on the artistry of skating, and you were like
when is that? When are you doing that?
What? Have you seen your skaters? But anyway, Shoma is wonderfully artistic and
outrageously so. It's beautiful skating to me.
Yeah, but I thought the short was really, really spectacular here, and the long looked better.
Were you able to listen with sound?
Yes.
See, I was, because he has copyright issues on that piece, so mine was like would go in. And then come out a little bit to just satisfy these kind of copyright issues, I guess, on YouTube or something like that. But it is such a cool program. I really enjoy it.
What? Now, which costume is your favorite? Because I liked the red and black. I mean, I'm a red person, so I liked that. But
you mean for the free or for the short?
For the short.
Why am I not remembering what he wore for the short this time?
He wore gray and black.
Yeah, see, I like him best in the free when he went monochromatic, even though they were two different pieces, because he makes such beautiful lines, and he is smaller in stature but skates big. I enjoy the one cohesive color, so I see the beauty of his overall body deportment. I'm never a fan of when he chops it as much.
And has anyone bought the book with him and his brother where they're like hugging on the cover? It's very adorable. You've not seen this? Like,
I've not seen it.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be a bestseller in Japan. His brother, who looks like they could be twins, but I don't think that his brother skates. It's like the Shoma only I know or something, like, and we need to know what's in this book, even if it's like a 48-page picture book. I think someone needs to leave in the comments like all of the tidbits. We need What don't we know about Shoma?
The Cliff's Notes version. Yes. Yeah. Because I think his skating is so spectacular. And I know a lot of people will criticize this rotation or this lack of transition, but to me, it's liberating, it's free, there's a sense of self, there's even the choreographic sequence, which is just the spread eagle, but the way he just moves one simple arm, it doesn't have to be outrageously complex and cluttered and frenetic in order to be so beautiful and powerful. And I think that's what really drives his skating home for me.
And I'm curious about his choreographers, because we know that he does work with other choreographers, but then Mihiko Higuchi is always listed as the choreographer. So I wonder if they like consult, get like flourishes from other people, and so I wonder how that works. So I was just curious about that. But
well, and it makes sense because there is, with him and her, I think there is an ownership of the material.
Yeah. Now, did they have documentaries on Shoma as much as they have on the other skaters? Because I would like to see. Does he have lessons with both coaches together? Does he have just lessons with Yamada? Like, and then when travels, and like, is it like the Russian where there's like the Nina and the other coach? Like, I'm very curious how this works. We just don't know.
Yeah, because it seems on the outside that the real connection is with her, not Yamada. You know what I mean? She seemed,
But, like, does Yamada come into the rink dressed like a Rena Wiener in, like, sparkling duds? And, I would...
and receive accolades as she goes, like the Yuta Miller, like, hello,
Oh, Eric Radford let us know that he did work, that Yuta Mueller was there when he was in the rink. But he said that she was very nice but very stern and rarely smiled. So,
Yes, well, and that was you were asking me about my favorite moments of the Yuta documentary, and it was interesting to hear Robin's response to her.
Yes.
He was like,
talk to her. She didn't talk to him for 15 years.
He was like, well, I said hi. She wouldn't even look at me for 15 years until I won a medal at Europeans, and then all of a sudden she could say hello or something. It was an interesting thing that they included. That's what was so unique about it.
Do you think like he wasn't hardworking enough for her or something? Like I think she has like really high standards.
When it was interesting as she really owns Aliona as German.
Yes.
So I didn't know if at first there was this influx of outside nationalities that she wasn't used to or something, but
and Aliona really is friends with her. That's what's interesting. Like that wasn't just like puff for the documentary. Like I think there really was a real connection, because you know how sometimes these skating documentaries they put people in that act like they're best friends, like on Dancing with the Stars. Whenever you see someone and they're like, who lives in LA, and they're like, I love this person,
right, exactly, the old Gracie Gold Taylor Swift situation.
Or like Mariah and Adam, how they were kind of forced together, pushed together, and it seemed closer maybe than they
exactly
were.
But are you kidding? Aliona like screams a Yuta Mueller type.
Yes.
In that kind of intensity and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was really funny.
She like does want to be her. Yes, we need more documentaries. Leave them in I love to watch them. Like the Mao.
I do too, and I think there's a lot of. Oh, I did not see the Mao one.
There were Mao ones throughout her career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there was also a great one about Daisuke. The year he did the Pagliacci program, there was a great documentary about him. So.
Okay. But I just can't get enough of him, so that's great.
But because we don't speak Japanese, like it's one of those things like I see one time and like I don't know where it goes. I can never find it again. So
right, exactly. Yeah, the surtitles on that I would definitely need.
Now, is it surtitles or subtitles, Jonathan?
Sorry, in opera they call it surtitles because they're technically above in the thing, but it's the same thing. So. Because when you go to the opera, it's like a foreign film, except the words aren't below, they're above.
Like superscript rather than subscript. Surtitles.
There you go. And see, now the thing that the Met does is actually you have it in the seat in front of you. And when I sing in the Middle East, they do that also. So you're actually watching a screen directly in front of you and the stage instead of looking at it above the stage. So
they don't make you memorize all of the words.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I have to because I can't see them. I mean, if I'm watching an opera, I'm saying the translations are done.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, well, then why did we have to get off book and marching band all that time? Why couldn't we march with those pages?
Yeah, exactly. Gosh. That's funny.
The saying and the knowing where you have to march and move at the same time.
Exactly. No, thank you. I never did any of that. That seems way too athletic
I was
for me.
a really good marcher.
I figured.
But sometimes, I hear music by ear rather than, I hear notes first, then lyrics.
Right.
So, with the songs, I'm always making them up, but I always have the pitches right. But anyway, maybe I was sometimes playing the clarinet part by ear. Because
But you know where you fit in, so that's great.
Beautiful. Oh my God. Mark Janellan's going to be like, Dave Lace, how dare you?
Ruin the marching band.
I would just go back and be in the color guard. I should have just done it. It was just...
Go.
Mama
Your grand old flag, Dave.
Mama would have been so proud,
Okay.
Yes. Oh, man. So, Jonathan, what was your moment of the Japanese nationals?
I think watching Daisuke's hands do all of that kind of circular arm choreography was really exquisite. And I have to say, getting to see Sakamoto's personality shine through, which was someone I genuinely I was like, you could come over and hang out. That would be really fun.
I like her so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and Wakaba's short. I'm sorry. I know that's goofy because we have spoken so much about Satoko and her beauty and Rika and all these wonderful things, but it was a really fun moment for me to see that as well.
But I appreciate someone that can own a style completely.
Yes.
And even if it's not the usual aesthetic, they do it to 110% and they own it, and I really like that. I think it makes it interesting. I like it more than her free skate. So
Correct.
I was happy to see her here and skate so well. I didn't know if we were going to see that. We haven't heard much about this.
Right.
So I was that. I think obviously Satoko short, Rika's free skate, but Daisuke short for me was really spectacular. So
yeah,
what was your moment of the Japanese nationals, the All Japan Figure Skating Championships? Leave it in the comment below. Hold an edge and look sexy. Bye, guys.